Hello, Pablo. Today we're going to be talking about two classic movies. William Friedkin's 1977 classic, a very suspenseful type of thriller, a different type of thriller, and the original movie from 1953, Les Salaires de la Peur, or The Wages of Fear. I hope I pronounced it right. So I think we're
That's
gonna
okay.
have a very interesting a very interesting conversation about it. So let's jump into the episode.
Okay, Johnny, this one's got your number on it. Let's jam.
Hi, and welcome back, everyone, to another CinemaJam podcast episode, where two friends talk about movies, analyze them, and discuss what we like, what we don't like, and we share our thoughts with you all, our viewers. Tonight, it's another one of our Versus episodes where we are actually putting two movies through different rounds of a competition to see which movie comes out first and which one we think is not worthwhile keeping in the library of movies worldwide. I mean, or for eternity, whatever.
The Pantheon, the CinemaJam Pantheon, or something
Thanks.
like that.
That sounds better. So as usual, I'm Pablo Velez from Montreal, Canada, and joining me from Austin, Texas is
Sebastian Gomez. Excited to be talking about two movies based in Latin America that are very, very depressing. I don't know why I'm so excited to talk about them, but
no, both movies are amazing, and we're gonna really have a fun time with this Versus episode. By the way, I want to remind our viewers that you can find our episodes in all of the major streaming platforms. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify. Also, you can find in Instagram our recordings as well as Facebook. And follow us, comment on our videos, like us, let us know your thoughts, give us your feedback so we can make this podcast even better.
Yeah.
Now, as Sebastian was saying, we're going to be talking about two movies that are from a different era, a different moment in time, I want to say.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Sebas, if you want to introduce the two movies. Tell us and tell the viewers the name of the movies and also why you chose them, because they are very peculiar movies, to say the least.
So you and I have talked a lot about William Friedkin, especially because he died a few years ago, and we review one of his movies in the podcast, the French Connection, and we mentioned as well To Live and Live in LA. I think it was one of your recommendations, and I watched it again.
A great movie.
I watched it after that. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. But after, and we have mentioned The Exorcist throughout the podcast, we never review it. Sorcerer is a movie that he decided to make after The Exorcist. He was at the top of the world, and he decided to make a low budget. Well, it was supposed to be a low budget movie in the middle of the jungle, in very hard conditions, with a very difficult shooting schedule. I mean, it ballooned from $2 million budget to a budget of $2 million to $22 million. And
I didn't know that.
Well, at the time, it was a lot of money, right? So right now, it's like an independent movie. But at the time, from 2 to 22 is 10 times the cost of the movie. So I was very curious about it. And I heard a lot of good things about the Wages of Fear, that is the original movie, I guess. I mean, it's based on a book from 1950. So, we have to be clear about that both movies are supposed to be based on the book, not really on the movie from 1953. Wages of Fear is a book by George Arnaud. And the interesting thing is that Les Salaires de la Peur is the original, the film from 1953. The Palme d'Or from the Cannes Festival, the Berlin Film Festival, the Golden Bear.
I read that it was the first movie ever
to win both
actually
of them.
won, to win both major European, festivals. Yep.
Yeah. And it's actually, the director of this movie, I didn't mention it, sorry, Henri-Georges Clouzot, also has a very good movie that directed after that is Les Diaboliques. That is actually a very good movie if you want to watch it
Yes.
one time. It's
Yes.
actually the original one. I forgot it was him, and it's pretty good. Really damn good. So a very well-regarded director that in at least in France. I mean, he's from France. But yeah, it was something that I just wanted to talk about it because Sorcerer, I thought it was great. I thought you were going to like it, even with all the. It takes a while to get into the dark part, but it has an interesting introduction as well. And I didn't expect to like the Les Solier de la Fer as much as I'd like it. I thought they are different movies, and let's jump right into it. I mean, I just gonna say the plot summary. Basically,
Yep.
They hire 4 guys. They are suspicious fellows that landed in a very poor South
Unknown.
American, yeah, a South American
Unknown South
villa or
American
town.
country.
Yeah, yeah. They don't say which country, and I mean they are both fictitious countries, I guess. But basically, it's as a villa in the middle of the jungle where the only source of income basically is working for the oil company, an American oil company in both movies. So they have to basically do, the hardest, what do you call blue collar work that they can find because they can barely survive in both cases. And this is both movies, so we haven't told anything different from both movies. Actually, we learn actually a little bit more in one from the other, so we will talk about that later.
Yep.
And the other thing is that they are hired to transport very volatile
Explosive.
nitroglycerin, basically, explosives. And that basically, if you check them, they're gonna blow up. That's the premise of the thing, and they have to drive them for almost. I think in one of them is like 200 miles, and the other one is 300 miles. So yeah, but basically they have to drive them throughout the jungle, very bad conditions, very bad trucks, and that's about it. So I think that's enough that any needs to know, everybody needs to know right now, and let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it. So, for our viewers, just a quick recap. We're going to be putting 2 movies to battle today. The Wages of Fear from 1953 from the French director Henri-Georges Clouzot. And then we are going to watch Sorcerer from the great William Friedkin of Exorcist fame, released in 1977. And as usual with our versus format, we're going to go through 6 rounds in this competition where we're going to evaluate Sebastian and I some of the elements of the movie, from direction, style to the consistency of the plot and another few topics. So let's jump right into it. So Sebas, want to go with round 1?
Round 1.
Okay, so let's start then with the first round, which is all about the story and the script. Both movies are obviously about the same story. One is a sort of remake of the other one, but they do have some very important differences in how they approach the story, the background that they give to the characters, and obviously the finale, like the ending in both movies. It has the same, it leaves the viewer with the same feeling, the same perception, but they're both coming from different perspectives. So from your perspective, Sebas, which one had the most, let's say, the most interesting overall story plot, and which one you prefer the most in that from that regard?
To be honest, that's the hardest part of the question. In some of the other rounds, I know my favorite. But in this one, because there is a main difference, we actually see in Sorcerer why they ended there, basically. So they are criminal. We know that from the beginning. We see what crimes they committed and why they're running away, basically. The 4 of them, actually.
Actually, only 3 of them, right? Because the fourth guy, the guy that replaces the German, we don't know.
He's the killer. He's actually the first one they show. He's the one that he's the hitman that kills someone in the elevator.
Oh, in Mexico, in Veracruz.
Yes, that's right.
Oh,
He kills.
okay,
I think he's
okay,
hunting
okay.
Germans, Nazi Germans, and that's why he ended actually in that town. I think it's supposed to imply that that's the reason he ended there. So he's hunting Nazis basically. But it's not clear. It's not very clear. I have to agree that it's not very clear. I thought about it a little bit, and I realized that's why he was basically traveling to those towns hunting basically Germans from the World War. So we know they are criminals and why they end there, but in the other one, we only know basically one of them is a criminal. We don't know why the other ones are ended in that small town. And I really like that surprise, that basically they imply that they are there because they have to and they cannot get away. So I don't know. This is going to be the hardest one for me to pick, to be honest. Which one will you prefer, actually?
I agree. It's not an easy one. So just for our viewers, and apologize in advance we apologize for any spoilers that we might share with everyone. Yeah, because the main as Sebastian was saying, in the movie from William Friedkin, the backgrounds of each one of the people stuck in this town is given, so we are given the possibility not to like them because
Yes,
they are all
actually,
people coming from criminal background. So it's straight on, just clear that they're not good people. In the other one, there are a few characters that you kind of related to, like Luigi. There's an Italian
Luigi. I
guy.
was thinking about
Yeah.
Luigi as well. Yeah.
There's like an Italian guy that seems to be like super nice, like super patience with one of the main characters, the let's say the not the hero, but the main character, actually, Mario Levy, Yves Montand, the French guy, the original French guy that was in the town that joins up with the other French guy that comes in, Monsieur Joe Charles Vanet. And he's not a nice guy. There's nothing nice about him.
No, he's charming, but he's not a nice guy.
Yeah. So from that perspective, Sebas, I guess William Friedkin decided to tell us, like, right away, there's nothing like nice about these guys. There's no
if this
story.
guy survive or not,
There's
it
nothing
doesn't
happening
matter.
here. Exactly. This is the lowest of the lowest. Don't even bother, relating to them. But then he makes us relate to them as the story, unravels with all the suspense scenes
And all
that we
the
can
things that you
figure
have
out.
to do. Yeah.
We don't get so much of that background with the Wages of Fear.
But
you know what?
sometimes I like it. That's the
I like
irony,
that.
right?
I actually like that as well. So that
Let's give it to Wages of Fear.
shoot.
After I think about it, it was like, and I think we're gonna mention the names in the next section, but the characters and the actors, but just Luigi, for example,
Yeah.
make it worth it, because
And
you like him from the
the other
beginning.
guy, because basically there are like two trucks in both movies. There are two trucks, each one, one driver, one assistant driver. They take turns driving the car with a truckload of nitroglycerin, the explosive. So in the truck with Luigi was this guy who survived the Holocaust, or who survived like German occupation, and that's the truck that gets blown by the explosives, and you're like, damn it. Like the only people
That's
that like matter like a little.
and basically a stupid accent in both cases is like a stupid accent. You feel really
Well,
bad about that.
in the first movie, in the first one, Wages of Fear, we don't really know exactly what happened. In the second one, they just got distracted and they, got a flat tire and lost control of the truck. But no, let's settle it this way. The French version, the one from Henri-Georges, is I think by leaving that open, not resolved, the background of each one of their characters makes it the movie more interesting. Let's give the point
Yeah,
to that to Wages of Fear. I agree.
yeah, I agree.
Okay, this is gonna be a tough versus episode. We knew that. So
Yeah, after watching them, because I like Sorcerer so much, I didn't expect to like Wages of Fear so much.
both movies are amazing, and actually, we're gonna go to the next round, which I think is gonna be a tough one as well. So, Sebas, ready for round two?
Round 2.
So, round two, Sebas. Both movies are all about characterization and all the different leads taking turns, leading the storyline. So
Let's
maybe,
mention the actors.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
is
maybe like, we can mention the actors. Maybe I can mention the ones from Wages of Fear, and you do the ones from Sorcerer. So
sounds good.
in Wages of Fear, we have the main character of Mario Levy. That's the name of this French person who's stuck in this town in some country in South America. This is played by Yves Montand, a French actor who apparently was a singer, and this was his first role. But he actually does a really good job. I don't know, for being the first role. Then next is Monsieur Joe, or Mr. Joe, played by Charles Vanel, who is the older guy. He seems to be this mercenary, maybe, or someone
I
who
I think he
has.
was like a contraband
Yeah, maybe.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I
yeah,
understood that. Yeah, because he used to drive trucks as well with the other guy.
yeah. So
Maybe.
someone
Yeah.
who may have had like a longer history or background as a criminal. So that is him.
And we know
And
because I wanted poster.
yep, he's definitely a wanted man. And then we get the character that Sebastian that we liked, Luigi, played by Folco Lully, an Italian guy who is the roommate of Yves Montand in this town of Mario. And they are actually like good friends until Mr. Joe comes in, and then they kind of like split. But then as they go through this journey, they somehow kind of like reconnect. And there's the character of the person, the guy who escaped the
Concentration camp.
yeah, I'm forgetting who that is. Is it Hans Smerlov?
I think isn't it Peter Van Eyck, Bimba,
Those are the main four characters. A bunch of other supporting characters. I do want to highlight Vera Clouzot, like the girl Linda.
Linda. Yeah,
There's
beautiful. It was.
there's something like so out of place
Yeah,
with her in
I
the whole
agree.
movie, which we don't get in Sorcerer. There's a downgrade in a way to the female character. But we can talk about that. Now, those are the characters I think that are worthwhile, bringing up to with our viewers. So, can you introduce the ones from Sorcerer?
Okay, and in Sorcerer, the four main guys are, or the four criminals are Roy Scheider. He's the marquee guy, basically like the big name. He's a Scanlon. He's a thief that he's running away because he tried to rob and he shot actually the brother of a mob boss. Victor Manson is played by Bruno Kremer. That is a French guy that is a white collar criminal, basically. He's scam a lot of people with money for money. Nazi Hunter is Nilo, played by Francisco Rabal. And Kasim is played by Amidou. That is a Palestinian that basically put a bomb in Jerusalem in Israel. So basically, these guys are the ones running away, and we know actually a lot about their background. So as Paulo was mentioning, okay,
But
they basically
but
they play it as we see it, right?
yeah, from an acting perspective, Silas, who do you think stole the show? Who was the best?
All of them.
Yeah,
I'm
overall,
not going to deny Joe and Luigi are so interesting characters
Joe is amazing.
because
Joe is impressive.
Mr. Joe is impressive, and Luigi, the up and down, and he's dying. Basically, we learning during the movie that he has like a lot of he's a builder, and he has a lot of cement in
Lungs.
his lungs. So you understand them a little bit better. And Mr. Joe, he used to be a big guy, a big deal, and now he has to basically do any type of chores. And the way he reacts, like when he's afraid of the driving the truck, I was surprised because that doesn't really happen in Sorcerer, right? None of them.
No,
I mean, a little bit Nilo, a little
but
bit, but it's not
it's
like
not the
the
same.
whole drive, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell that this guy, he's, with his years, like maybe 60, he had to also do, make, kill someone basically to drive the truck. Yeah, Mr. Joe, I think he's the one that really, really represents the situation they are. And, he sells it. I'm not going to deny it.
Now,
Mm,
I also need to highlight for our viewers that in Sorcerer, the movie from William Friedkin, Roy Scheider has some very good moments. I
mm,
really liked the ending. The maybe 1 2 minute shot on his face as he's sitting down in that bar, just
the
think
exhaustion,
he asked for a couple of minutes because he was boarding a plane. He survived the whole ordeal and he has the money to escape. He asked for a couple of minutes and he just like he sits down to think. You can see in Roy's face, in his eyes, like the many troubles that he's going through in his mind. I thought it was beautiful. I like one of the most
brilliant. Yeah,
amazing pieces of acting I've seen in a long time. So I want to highlight
he
that, and
does.
also
Yeah.
Bruno Kremer, the actor playing Victor Manson. He's
He's
also
great.
great. Like because he plays with such a like everyday kind of person, like behavior, demeanor. But in the end, he's a criminal, like you said. So both of them. Yeah, 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 yeah. But but overall, I think what we got from Mr. Joe in the first one was like a complete universe, not just like a few scenes. I want to give the point to Wages of Fear.
Yeah, and it's hard because we never seen. I mean, I have never seen anything from Charles Vanel besides this movie. So
No, I mean,
he's just great. He's just amazing.
he's
Yeah, let's give it to Wages of
amazing.
Fear. Go ahead.
Okay, so I feel bad because Sorcerer is a really good movie, but my God, Wages
And
of
he's
Fear
supposed to
is
be William
something else.
Felix, one of the best. I mean, he's a complete bomb. He's actually it bombed at the box office when it came out, especially after having
The
a
Exorcist, of
big
course.
success like the French Connection and the Exorcist, and then he goes out with this one. Basically, it took him a while, basically, to get back in good graces with Hollywood. Okay, let's
Now,
go with okay.
I think we're gonna like the next round. So
Yeah,
let's move on to us to
Round 3.
So this is about visuals and direction. So we got an amazing director, which is William Friedkin, that you and we know well because of the movies that we've seen from him before. And then we got this other movie from a director that we didn't know. I never seen Diabolique, the original movie.
I did.
So I don't know anything about Henri-Georges, but he's also amazing. Like you can tell that he was bringing something to life, like a book, a novel adaptation, and he did something beautiful with that. Now I'll let you go first, Sebas. Which one do you think was better directed? I'm gonna put it.
I mean,
I'm gonna put the question like that.
yeah, it's definitely for me. It's definitely Sorcerer. You can tell they shot it in South America. Well, in Central America, I think it was shot. Well, it was actually shot in Dominican Republic. I heard I
Yeah, it was.
read. So it's an island, no, not really like a, but it was still you could tell that they shot it like in location, right? It's not in a soundstage. Wages of Fear was shot in the south of France, so it was you can tell the fakeness a little bit. It's well done. I mean, I'm not going to deny the direction and the way it's shot is good, but just that we're probably going to talk about it in later, but just the direction during the crucial moments, like in that part, and he's able to choose basically like 4 short films about these criminals, and they are I mean the shortest part is the one with Nilo basically, but the other ones are pretty long. I mean the one with Scanlon and the one with the Palestinian guy, the Kasim. Those are pretty long, actually. We learn a lot about, and with Victor Manson as well. We see him with his wife. We see his desperation talking with his brother-in-law. I mean, we see his last day basically in Paris, and it it was pretty good. I'm not going to deny that he basically shot 4 different movies during this production. So for me,
It's a
it's
good
pretty good.
point. It's a good point, and maybe a big difference to highlight for our viewers is that William Friedkin, by doing what Sebastian was saying, like giving enough time to give the background, to build the background of each individual character, made it a bit more dynamic. Made the beginning of the movie a bit more engaging. I really had a hard time with
That's when you text me, right? Like what I'm watching.
because I didn't know where this was going. The movie really changed completely the moment that they got on the trucks and they started driving. That's when things really like fell into place.
And I
But
think it happens faster in The Wages of Fear. I think we
it
spend
does,
more
it does,
times on the trucks. Yeah.
it does, and even if it, I mean, even if it didn't, since the background stories are all like interesting, you're committed to the movie, like the moment that they are all of them in the town waiting to be hired to drive the trucks, that moment is a very short one, like that in the whole movie is not it doesn't take as long as it does in the Wages of Fear one. So I agree with you. Let's give it to Sorcerer the point.
Okay. I do want to mention that The Wages of Fear is actually longer. It's 2 hours and 36 minutes
Both
versus
movies
two
are long,
hour
so
and 1 minute version of Sorcerer. So it's interesting to think about that. That how was he be able to put those short scenes and we learn so much of them in such a short time. I don't know. It's incredible. Okay,
all
let's
right.
go with round
4.
Round 4.
So round 4 is about the soundtrack and the overall vibe of the movie, and I want to stay with the point around the soundtrack, because I do have a favorite one with no, and this one I have no doubts. Sebas, which one do you think is better soundtrack wise?
is I'm well, in my opinion, Sorcerer,
Yeah,
especially
I agree,
because
100%.
I was surprised. I didn't remember when I saw it last year that is such an electronic soundtrack, right?
It
It
is.
has a
It is.
lot of beats and all that. It's made
Synth-
by
Synthesizers. It reminded me of Blade Runner, to be honest.
yeah. It's by the German Tangerine Dream. Is by the German krautrock and electronic band Tangerine Dream.
So,
So
a little trivia for our viewers, because we've talked about Michael Mann, that's one of our favorite directors, and he made a movie called The Keep. That was his first movie. The soundtrack of The Keep is also by Tangerine Dream, and
interesting.
is the same kind of like pulsating synths. Like you get a lot of like bass and beats mixed up. And in this movie, I really recommend our viewers in Sorcerer, in the movie from William Friedkin, to listen to it with headphones and pay special attention to the bridge scene. the
I was
wooden.
thinking about that one. Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about
My
that one.
God, I know we're gonna be talking about the standout moment soon in the next round, but just since we're talking about the soundtrack elevates that scene, even more.
Yeah,
It's
and it's
beautiful.
especially it's basically like accelerated in your heart, right? It's like the beating heart of the jungle that is trying to eat the character. Is pretty good. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Yeah, we can mention that there are people speaking in German, in English, in French, in Italian,
that was one
in
thing that I told
Spanish.
Sebastian offline, that I was having a really hard time following the movie because where I was watching, I initially was watching the movie on in Tubi. It has it doesn't have any subtitles, so you were like listening to people talking in German and in a very difficult French because one of the guys is from Corsica, so that's like a really like difficult dialect. And
And I
oh my
didn't
God.
realize at the beginning, like, oh, okay, good to know.
Anyways, if you guys can find it with subtitles for the non-English parts, that really helps. Let's move on to round 5, Sebas.
Okay.
Okay, Sebas, so this next round is about the moments or the lines that stood out the most, from each movie. Which one do you think had the most memorable moments overall?
I mean, that bridge scene is
Bridge scene, yeah.
undeniable. Is great. They have a both like a scene where they have a problem with something blocking their path, and so in Wages of Fear is a rock, as Paulo mentioned, and this the guy that survived the concentration camp is able to blow it up with some of the nitroglycerin. In the other one is the bomb expert from the Palestinian guy that blows up
Yeah.
the tree, and both of them are well done. I'm not going to deny it, but the intensity in that bridge scene is incredible. I was actually suffering for the actor, not just for the characters, for the actors.
And we get it twice in Sorcerer because there are two trucks and both
Yeah,
trucks have to go through the bridge, and the second truck, which is the one that has the French guy and the Palestinian guy, so not Roy
not
and
Rothschilder, yeah,
the other guy,
and Nilo.
thank you. That one was a bit shorter. The other one took longer because they get stuck. They need to get the winch to pull the truck, and
A tree hits them because basically it's raining and the
and
and the water is coming up.
yeah, the river is flooding and there's like the storm, and uh it's such an amazing scene. And then behind that or in the background you get the soundtrack. So you get all this, beats and kind of like I don't know, mysterious like sounds, like
Is
just
amazing.
pulsating
Yeah.
in the background. It adds to the intensity. I do want to highlight that in Wages of Fear, there's the scene where they need to back the trucks, like backtrack the trucks
In
on
the like in the corner of the road, yeah.
exactly in the corner of the road that has also like a kind of like a small wooden bridge. And especially the second truck, the one that is driven by the two main characters, Joe and Mario, is a bigger truck, so is the one that may not make it. Like that scene also is really well constructed.
Yeah, and I also want to highlight in Wages of Fear the scene where they have to cross the oil pond. I think it's basically at the end, right? The other truck already blew up, right? Yeah,
And he runs
is
over the leg, the yeah,
of
of Mr.
Mr.
Joe.
Joe. Ugh, that's so tough. Yeah, yeah.
That's
The
the thing,
picture is
and
this
this is
picture
for
is basically from that. Basically after
yeah.
that, yeah.
And for our viewers, like Sebastian and I were like, we're so amazed with the performance, the acting of the person who did the who played Mr. Joe, so Charles Vanel, because he gives us like this amazing story, like evolution or de-evolution. When we first see him, he's like this Mr. tough guy, kind of like, know it all. He has a gun,
like a mob guy, basically. Yeah.
like a mob guy who pushes people around like a bully. He controls the bar. Like you feel like this guy is going to, he's the one who's going to survive because he has all the shops. But then he breaks down, and you can see the breakdown is very genuine, very natural. I haven't seen acting like this in many years. It's still stuck in my mind. So
Yeah. I was surprised. I was surprised actually. You get the term they use in the movie is that he get the jitters, because he can barely hold on being the suspense of having to drive this truck with all that nitroglycerin. Nitroglycerin is is too much for him. Basically,
much for him.
he's
Yeah,
want to
he
give up.
breaks down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And after all, he had to do to basically get in the truck. So.
So, Sebas, should we maybe divide this one because both
Yeah.
movies are so good?
Let's do it. Let's divide it. Both of them have very good scenes. I'm not going to deny. It's a tough one to to get.
Okay, then let's move on to the next and final round, which is rewatchability.
Round 6.
All right, so round 6, the last round. Which of the two movies, Sebas, do you think does better in terms of being a movie that you can watch over again and again? Let's say if you have 2 hours right now after like recording this podcast, what movie would you actually watch?
To be honest, I think Sorcerer. Sorcerer is the one that, yeah, it's just a little bit better, right? It's just like it's faster. The other one, the beginning is a little bit too long. I don't know. It's kind of weird to describe it. They spend too much in the town. I felt a little bit, but
You
I
know what?
just like Sorcerer a
I,
little bit more.
I would choose Wages of Fear.
Really, it's hard, right? These are pretty
And,
good movies.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't watch again Sorcerer. It's just that there's something about Wages of Fear that clicked with me like a movie hasn't clicked. Maybe since Parasite.
No,
When we talked about Parasite, I felt the same thing when they were already driving the trucks. Like everything made sense. Like, and I didn't, maybe I didn't get the same with Sorcerer because I felt I was watching a remake. So I was more enjoying the differences. And
and
like,
you watched that one first, right? You watch. So that's the thing. I
the,
watched Sorcerer first, and
yes,
then I watched Wages
yes.
of Fear.
So
So
I did it the other way around. So
that makes sense, actually. Yeah.
yeah, so that's why I think I would if I had like 2 hours and 20 whatever minutes to watch one of the two, I think I would give it another go
Well,
to
we can make it a tie as well. I don't mind. Both of them are magnificent. I'm not going to deny it. I do want to mention that Entertaining Weekly did like a poll, something like that, a few years ago, and Stephen King put it Sorcerer as the first movie in an article that they call 20 movie rentals that never let me down. That's a good
perfect.
one.
No, that's, I mean, if Stephen King said that, then that's good advice.
That's good advice.
So now we're at a point in this versus episode where we actually have a tie. Both
Ooh,
movies are at 3 points right now. So I, gu-
time.
I guess we must be doing something good selecting the movies, but something wrong trying to, put them to battle. So we usually go now, this is for our viewers, a reminder that whenever we have a tie, we have a few wild card rounds. So we got 3 where we ask some additional questions and see which one comes up.
Wild card.
Or a letdown. So which movie may have been ruined compared to the other one because of a scene that you felt was like out of place or like unnecessary?
When Roach Scheider shoots the priest, basically that is the brother of the mob boss, and that scene where basically they show the hitmen go and talk to the to the mob boss and like whatever it costs, I'm gonna. We already know he's on the run. We didn't need to know that how he got his passport and that he was on the and that the mob boss were going to look for him. All that. That does let us know to see who's coming into the bar at the end of the movie in the last scene. Basically, that basically he's gonna get killed at the last minute is what the movie implies. But that bothered me a little bit because in the other ones, basically, they show them they run away and they appear in the town and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
This is the only one that we see all the way to he buys the passport, he buys the trip, whatever. In the
I want
to
to
be
say,
honest,
Sebas,
I cannot really say anything from. Well, in Wages of Fear, the ending made me really mad. I'm not going to deny it. That the guy starts driving crazy because he got the money, and it was one of the most stupid things that I ever seen in a movie.
fair enough, fair enough. Like the reasons, because both movies, they both end up in the same downbeat type of ending where like no one wins. Like the guy who survives eventually meets a non
And a
non
tragic ending, I
positive
guess.
ending. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So spoiler alerts in the first one, the character of Mario, the one played by Yves Montand, he's the one who survives, gets the extra money, he starts driving back to town. But I, I mean, as he's driving, there's this two scenes are being, played side by side, like the
It
dance
was
scene.
so well edited.
That was
You
nice.
know,
That
it
was
was
nice because
super great. Yeah.
people in the bar where they used to hang out in this nowhere town in Wages of Fear, they just like burst into this dancing of some valse, I think.
Yeah. Well,
And
they get the news that he survived and he's coming back.
so
Yeah. So
everyone's
everyone is happy.
happy,
Yeah.
exactly, and they start like dancing, and the music, it's like a classical music type of moment with this ballroom type of dancing in this middle of nowhere bar
And he's intercut with the
with the
Mario
guy.
driving happy
Yeah,
and celebrating.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Happily driving the truck and actually, driving the truck in a way that eventually makes him like lose control during a curve, and that's when he dies. And I agree, maybe it's kind of like a stupid way to go, but uh, maybe the thing that I always felt, that I felt when I watched the movie that I didn't like about Wages of Fear is it's an extremely racist movie.
Yes.
I mean,
I agree.
we didn't talk about this, Sebas, but the way they portray, people in this South American country, come on, especially like the immigration guy who's like stamping the passports. That could have been played by I don't know, by a monkey. Like it's the worst like way a portrayal of anyone coming out of Latin America. I felt it
I
was
mean,
extremely racist.
and the first minute basically is a kid walking nude on the streets. We can see everything on
No,
this
I mean
kid.
that's
But
fine because he was setting up the context of a town that is in
of a
poverty.
poor town, yeah.
That's fine, but then even like the few people that are like in positions of like let's say power, they are
Yeah.
like he is barefoot with his feet. He's like like taking things out of his nails is like disgusting. It's the worst scene ever. I felt like I didn't want to watch that. I'm actually gonna if I watch again the movie, I'm gonna skip the first minutes and just go straight into the moment they start driving the trucks.
Yeah,
Uh,
basically,
I
yeah, or when Mr. Joe lands, I think
Yeah, so I didn't
starts
see I didn't see a scene in the Sorcerer movie that I felt it was like that. So I'm kind of like leaning towards giving the point to William Friedkin. I didn't find it as openly
offensive as the
raised
other
as
one.
offensive as the French one.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, perfect. So we have 1 point for Sorcerer and from our wildcard round. So let's move on to the next one, which is um, about plot holes. So basically, if there are any moments in either movie where if you think too much about him, the consistency of the storyline collapses. Is there anything there, Sebas? Was there any moment in the movies that you felt that?
It's gonna be a tough one. I cannot really think. I
Be
don't know,
honest,
buddy. I to
to
be
be
honest,
honest, to be honest, even though it was a remake of of Wages of Fear, by giving like so much background to the four main characters, William Friedkin kind of like set up a lot of inconsistencies. Like, why did these people with so different backgrounds end up in the same place? Like, why?
yeah, and especially in that particular town, right? Like I think
Exactly.
in Sorcerer it's called the Porvenir or something like that. Yeah, it's not really clear. I do find funny that basically it's showing you, in the end of those movies when they show you, oh, we're going to move to South America to escape. In a lot of movies, especially like spies and thrillers, they show that they're going our way to South America. Basically, in this one, they show you it's not going to be easy moving to South America to escape, right? So that's the thing that we see. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense that they're ended out there. Well, it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense in either of them, to be honest. It's just that, yeah, they end in a town in the middle of nowhere, basically, that they don't even
But
have.
But the
Yeah.
French one, Wages of Fear, leaves that open. So, like, for some reason, like, and since this was around the time of the second, like, the post-war,
Mm,
it's a bit more
well, yeah.
plausible, like, more potentially, accurate that people were just like escaping Europe and they end up in this place by just mistake. It could be. I want to give this point. I want to give this point to Wages of Fear. My gosh. So we are now still at a tie, and there's one more. One more. This is the
The
decisive,
defining one. This is
defining question, Sebas. And I'm gonna let you fully answer this one. If you were to make a TikTok video right now, and referencing one of the two movies, which one would you choose? Your call.
I would probably go with Sorcerer. I mean, it's just more visually appealing. I mean, just that in some of the posters they show the bridge scene, and it's just a picture of the bridge scene. That's just so scary, man. It's just incredibly well shot and well put on together. I'm not going to. Yeah, I think I will go with that one. Yeah, that scene is so much better than both of the other movies. I mean, if it could be a little bit longer, I will use Mr. Joe. I mean, just doing like a cut of Mr. Joe acting. But yeah, yeah. But in the end, is yeah.
I couldn't agree more. So we have a winner.
And the winner is.
It's Sorcerer.
Sorcerer,
By 1
the
point.
winner. Yeah, I mean, one last point, basically, like one last wild card. Yeah, I mean, sorry for everyone. Normally, we do try to do this a shorter episode, but it was such a good movie that it was difficult to contain ourselves to discuss it.
No, honestly, in this podcast, we have actually reviewed very good movies, honestly, and some amazing masterpieces, like the recently Gran Reserva cycle, where we looked at like the top horror movies. That was beautiful. When we talked about Parasite, that's still like top of my mind now. In this episode, Sebas, I want to thank you because I saw two movies that I wasn't expecting at all, and we want to recommend our viewers to go out and find these two movies: Wages of Fear from 1953, yeah, from Henri-Georges Clouzot, and also look up Sorcerer, the remake, in a way, by William Friedkin from The Exorcist fame from 1977.
Yeah, they are worth both of them. They are worth it.
Worthwhile.
And okay, thank you everyone again for your time. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I hope you enjoyed the movies, and we hope you watch it with us next time. So we're gonna be watching next week the Wicker Man, the original movie from 1973 from who?
Robin Hardy,
Okay, thank
Englishman,
you.
and starred by, amongst others, Christopher Lee, the great
Yeah.
Christopher Lee.
And from Gareth Evans, we're gonna be watching Apostle, and also a great movie starring Dan Stevens, and that one is in Netflix. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Please subscribe, like, review the podcast. That helps us. That helps us a lot. And until next time, keep jamming about movies.
Till next one.